Good morning and thank you for joining us. Right now, we want to begin with some late breaking news on the north side of town. Crews on the scene of a deadly house fire. This happening on Winding Oak Drive near Loop 1604 and Bulverde Road. Our Max Massey is out there live. Max, very active scene out there behind you. What can you tell us so far this morning?
Good morning, Sarah. I just talked to police just a few moments ago. They tell me 3 people dead in the aftermath of this fire. I'm going to step out of the way, show you what we're looking at right now, Sarah. As you mentioned, a very active scene. When we first got out here, 28 fire units. Right now, you still see investigators, firefighters, arson members going through the home, trying to figure out what exactly happened. But this is what we know right now. This is from police out here on the scene. They tell me this really unfolded around 3 a.m. Police tell me that responding officers, first responders, they arrived to heavy smoke. One officer kicking in the door. That smoke too much for him to handle. He could hear people upstairs. We're told 6 people at home at the time of the initial response. They did what they could. We're told that multiple people sent to the hospital, dispersed to different hospitals. Some officers actually still there. In terms of the people we now know dead, 2 adults, 1 child. We are still waiting on the ages. And like I said, we just saw arson investigators a few moments ago. They tell me that there was heavy smoke, thick smoke, and they tell me that it may have started in the garage. And as you can see right now, just devastation inside that garage that we're looking out. Now, we're told they are going to be out here a while. CSI out here, again, trying to figure out what exactly sparked the fire, what exactly happened. Now, I do have a traffic alert for people. We came in on Classen, and investigators tell me that that is going to be shut down throughout the morning as this investigation continues. But guys, we're going to stay out here, try to figure out what exactly happened, what comes next, and how the other 3 people who were in the home, how they're doing through the morning. Sarah, back to you.
Max, thank you so much. And of course, we're going to bring you the latest as that news develops throughout the morning. Okay, 6:02, 78 degrees. Mike, you're in for Sarah. Thank you so much for being here.
Certainly.
Okay, so earlier this week, you talked about a slight chance for rain
That's
this
still
weekend.
there. Okay, slight chance of rain, but been saying all week long, too, don't get your hopes too high.
Okay.
So it's a very small chance, maybe a little bit better shot at some rain tomorrow. We are starting off a lot of clear skies right now out there. We'll probably have some of our morning clouds develop right around sunrise just before that. Temperature right now stands at 79, 80 Canyon Lake, 78's there, Randolph as well as Stinson. And the humidity is about the same as what it was yesterday at this time in the morning, so enough out there. You definitely notice it. 73 for Dew Point there at Canyon Lake, 74 Randolph as well as New Braunfels, which means, yeah, it's kind of fog up your glasses sort of humidity over there. So heat index readings 84 up the road, Canyon Lake, 82 at the airport. Mold and pigweed are both on the low side. Green CPS Energy Conservation Day. Scan the QR code if you want to find out more information about that. We do still have heat advisories in effect through this evening, and it's pretty much the, say, eastern 2/3 of our viewing area. And again, that's just because we will still see temperatures up to 103 today. We hit 102 yesterday, so we were down, had gone down a degree each day since Wednesday, although yesterday did tie the record. And there is, yes, a shower or a storm, 1 or 2 of them out there. Again, hope for the best, but don't get your hopes too high for that. A little bit better chance of rain tomorrow, little being the operative word there. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah?
Mike, thank you. Jesse Farias, the local Tejano star, facing 3 counts of indecency with a child, has been found guilty on 1 of those charges and not guilty on 2 of those charges. The punishment phase of the trial is expected to happen tomorrow. Stay with us on air and online for the latest updates. You can read more about the trial on KSAT.com. 2 people are in jail this morning after police found them with several stolen ID items. According to New Braunfels police, 25-year-old Barry Hawkins and 17-year-old Tyler Williams were taken into custody around 2 o'clock on Friday morning. Police say Hawkins sped out of a neighborhood, and when they tried pulling him over, he didn't stop driving. A police chase pursued until the driver's car ran out of gas. Both suspects had several stolen items on them. Police believe the items are from recent car burglaries. This is an ongoing investigation. And a San Antonio man jailed on several charges has died at the Bexar County Jail. So a deputy at the jail says they interrupted this man on your screen, Kieran Williams, during a suicide attempt and began performing life-saving measures. However, deputies could not save him. Williams was arrested back in January of 2020 for a deadly shooting at a bar in downtown San Antonio. 2 men were killed, 5 others were injured. Now, according to that affidavit, Williams pulled a gun after getting into an argument with one of the victims. Williams' other charges were burglary of vehicles and unauthorized use of a vehicle. The Federal Aviation Administration announced that the San Antonio International Airport will be getting $17 million in federal grants. Now that funding will help the airport complete reconstruction projects on taxiways. Airport officials say these reconstruction projects will enhance the safety of aircrafts by reducing the risk of debris and pavement failure. The funding will also allow for the airport to add a 3rd terminal by mid-2028. It is 6:06 and 78 degrees. So if you have a student headed off to college for the first time, dorm room essentials might be overwhelming. Still ahead, we'll tell you about the latest deals. Plus, the latest on how the extreme temperatures across the country are causing destruction and trouble for marine life. 6:06, 78 degrees. It is definitely humid start to our Saturday morning. Mike says there is the smallest chance for rain. He'll explain that when we come back. Well, good morning. We want to get back to that late breaking news on the north side of town. Crews are on the scene of a deadly house fire. It's happening on Winding Oak Drive near Loop 1604 and Bulverde Road. Our Max Massey is live, staying on top of the story. So, Max, I know that you've been talking to people on scene since we last spoke to you at the top of the hour.
That's right. I just talked to a sergeant, and he even telling me this is a tough morning, not only for neighbors, family members, but even first responders. Them saying that they were able to pull 6 people out of the home right behind me that you can see investigators still outside of. So they pulled 6 people out of it. We now know more details. 3 adults were downstairs, 3 children upstairs. Now, we're told 1 woman did die from the injuries here on the scene. 4 of the 6 people taken to local hospitals in critical condition. But like we said earlier, we now know 3 people dead in the aftermath of this fire. 2 adults, 1 child. We are still waiting to learn their ages and what exactly happened here. We are told that when first responders first got here around 3 a.m., the smoke was so thick, the first responder kicked the door open, could not see anything. They could hear screaming coming from upstairs. Just a tragic situation here unfolding on the north side. We're obviously going to stay on this situation. Arson investigators still, as you can see, walking up to that garage. They're still combing through the crime scene. CSI on the scene as well. We're going to be staying here throughout the morning, trying to talk to more and more investigators, get more information. We're going to be reporting here live throughout the morning. Sarah, back to you.
Max, truly heartbreaking to hear that. Thank you for staying on top of that. We'll bring you updates throughout the morning. All right, it's 6:11, 78 degrees. It is very humid out there, Mike.
Yeah, that's the kind of the, as I say, the 24-hour cycle that we go through. It has at least been dropping down in the afternoons, comes back up in the morning. So I guess I'd rather have it this time of the morning than, yeah, in the afternoon with those high heat index readings. We don't have that, but still it is going to be hot. And good news is, yes, we do have that small chance for a shower. I think being the operative word right here. Clear skies and a nice little view right here of the waxing crescent moon. Beautiful shot right there. It is going to be full a week from Tuesday on the 1st of August. So thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. And I saw some stars out there this morning, so we have a lot of clear skies right now. And probably a couple of clouds forming up as we get closer to sunrise, like has been the case the past couple of mornings. 77 will bottom out at, and then get up to 78 degrees at 8 o'clock and work our way through the 80s this morning. 91 at noon. Again, plenty of sunshine, and then 1 or 2 extra clouds out there. And yes, there is that small chance for a couple of showers out there. I don't even think it's worth putting a percentage on there, but there is the small chance. Here's what's going on the satellite picture. First of all, nothing obviously showing up here. And past couple of days, been showing some of these showers that, well, yesterday were up right along the Oklahoma-Kansas border, and they were working their way pretty much straight to the east. But notice how things are now starting to kind of come down here from the northwest. And you can see sort of a center of circulation right here, halfway between El Paso and Albuquerque. That's that high, and that clockwise rotation is taking some of this energy and throwing it down in our direction. So a lot of sunshine this morning, and then by early afternoon, early mid-afternoon, a couple of clouds, a couple of showers going to start to pop up. But don't blink when I go through this, because it'll be, again, count them on one hand as far as the number of showers, perhaps a storm out there later on this afternoon. Couple extra clouds will help out too. Other than that, though, I mean, unless there's much clouds sitting over the airport, we're going to make it up to 103 later on today. Now, let's jump ahead to tomorrow, and we will start off with, excuse me, sunshine in the morning, and then we'll have a few more clouds hanging out here in the afternoon, and a slightly better chance to see a few scattered showers and even a stray thunderstorm or two. It does look like it's leaning more toward down to the south, where a lot of these would then start to develop with the afternoon heating going on in there. But at least there will be, like I said, one or two of them out there, and pretty much after tomorrow, that's going to be it. So here's what's going on. The high, and like I said, centered just about right there around south of Albuquerque, and it's around that clockwise rotation. It's grabbing onto some of that little bit of energy, throwing it down in our direction. So the high, again, continues to kind of stay off, a little far enough off to the west to keep us with that small chance for a couple of showers around here. That'll be the situation through the weekend, and then that thing's going to start to work its way back in on top of us, and that means we stay on the hot side, and it pretty much puts the lid on anything as far as development, like another shower or two here or there. So again, don't get your hopes too high for rain today. There'll be one or two of them out there. I put a 15% chance right there. 20 tomorrow, so again, not great. 103s next week. It's going to be pretty darn hot throughout at least the first half of next week. There are some indications that could be another little subtle change in this overall pattern toward next weekend. Again, it's one of those where it's sort of wishful thinking. So,
like changes in maybe a little bit of
slightly lower temperatures, maybe a shower or two as the high sort of rearranges itself a little bit. But still a week away as of right now, though. It's still just going to be hot. We're continuing to chalk up all those triple digits.
Well, anything to look forward to.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. All right, 6:15, 78 degrees. The San Antonio Pets Alive Rescue Center continues to wait for their air conditioner to be fixed. What they're now relying on to help get these dogs rescued. That's next. Saving lives with minimal space and air conditioning. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the AC unit went out at San Antonio Pets Alive's Rescue Center. The nonprofit now relying on outside sources to help animals. Stephanie Paz Bettis with SAPA says foster homes have stepped up to help. Temporary units and a generator mean there is some space at the rescue center. Now, the nonprofit says it is doing all it can to protect the dogs and its care. This as they continue to wait yet another week for the AC to be fixed at the center, and the city's animal euthanasia list is growing.
The fact that our AC unit was broken and set us back a few days impacted our life-saving work, but we're still picking up and doing the best that we can.
The nonprofit rescued 112 dogs that were going to be put to sleep this week. Now, Paz Bettis says the overpopulation problem has grown over the last few years. It is 6:20 and 78 degrees. Back to school, supply shopping is approaching, and for some it's already happening. Coming up next, which deals are worth catching when it comes to dorm room supplies. The back to school shopping list can be a long one, and if your student is headed off to college, and the dorm life, it can also be overwhelming. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz tracks down some deals on dorm room essentials.
My favorite parts about living on my own at school, half of it is the freedom, but the other half is just experiencing new things.
But first, Adriana Yanez will need some new things for her college dorm room.
One of the biggest challenges of college life is adapting to a shared space, and that could mean sharing a bathroom, sharing a living room. And when it comes to living in these type of arrangements, staying organized is key.
The shower caddy, super handy for the hall bathroom. This Made Smart soft grip tote is on sale for about $10 at Target. The ventilation holes help avoid that funky shower smell. Next, because you can't put holes in the walls, command hooks. This variety pack is marked down to $17.98 on Amazon. Great for corralling all those cords and actually hanging up the towels. Now the bed. I speak from my daughter's experience that the dorm mattresses aren't always comfortable, so consider a mattress topper. This is one that Consumer Reports recommends from Linen Spa. The 3-inch twin extra long is $73 at Amazon. Just ship it to the dorm. Students are on their laptops a lot, so this Insignia ergonomic laptop stand can raise it up about 10 inches. It's $29.99 at Best Buy. And finally, for their tunes, the JBL Clip 4 wireless and Bluetooth speaker is $79.95 at Apt Electronics and Amazon. And remember that student ID can unlock discounts on all kinds of things, from laptops to books to clothing. We have a list on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
It's 6:25 and 78 degrees. Of course, we're going to staying on the latest for this breaking news on the north side for this deadly house fire where 3 people are dead, 2 of them adults, 1 child. Our Max Massey's out in the scene. We're going to be bringing you live coverage throughout the morning.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. Well, we are starting off with a lot of clear skies right now. We'll see a few clouds develop as the sun is starting to come up in places. And yeah, it's warm and humid out there. We've got our usual morning humidity, 79 degrees right now. Dew point came back up to 72. And so you definitely notice it when you step outside. A little bit of a breeze, primarily out of the south. Heat index right now, 82 in town, 84 up the road at Canyon Lake, and some low 80s down there on the southeast side of Bexar County, mid 70s portions of the hill country. Mold and pigweed are both on the low side. The updated count's going to be coming out later on today. Yep, it's going to be another hot one. At least we will have the lower humidity in the afternoon, but we still have heat advisories in effect for pretty much call it the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area up through this evening. So warm and humid this morning, and then later on today, 103. We hit 102 yesterday, although now that was the lowest all week long, but that tied the record for yesterday. Today, we go back up a little bit. However, there is going to be a stray storm or 2 out there. You can probably count them on one hand. As I've been saying for the past couple of days, don't get your hopes too high for rain. Now, a slightly better chance of rain moves into the picture tomorrow, albeit small, little bit better. After that, forget about anything falling from the sky, except all that blazing sunshine out there. More triple digits and actually going up maybe a degree or 2 throughout a good chunk of next week. We'll see if there's any hope even beyond that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah?
Mike, thank you. Now, right now, we want to get back to that late breaking news on the city's north side. Crews on scene for a major house fire. This happening on Winding Oak Drive near Loop 1604 and Bulverde Road. Our Max Massey has been live out there all morning. Now, Max, we understand 6 people were in the house total, and at least at this time, we know 3 have died.
That's right. So initially, this all came out around 3 a.m. Sergeant on the scene confirming to me 3 people from the house fire have passed away. I'm going to step out of the way, show you what we're looking at right now. You can see arson investigators and firefighters on the scene pulling items out of the garage, using shovels to dig through what is left of the scene. And this is a much different scene now than what we saw a couple hours ago. Like we said, first responders getting to the scene around 3 a.m. Chief Hood out here saying that they got the call for a structure fire. They said when they responded, they could hear screaming coming from inside the home. They arrived to the scene. First responders kicking in the door, trying to evacuate the home. They could hear those yells. Firefighters out here immediately going into a rescue operation. When they got out here, guys, they saw too much heavy smoke, high heat, trying to rescue the people inside. Like we said, 6 people were in the home at the time of the fire. we're told 3 adults were downstairs, 3 children upstairs. We now know 3 of the 6 did not make it. And Sergeant on the scene telling me of the 3 that died, there were 2 adults and 1 child.
It looks like the fire originated in the garage area. At this time, we are not finding any working smoke detectors, and there were no reports of detectors going off.
Now, arson investigators, like we said, still combing through what is left of the home. Now, this is a much different scene than what we saw earlier this morning. The flames are done. Fire units have started to leave. When we first got out here, 28 units on the scene. So just to give you a perspective of how many people responded to the heavy flames, the heavy smoke, and the high heat. And just a few moments ago, I did speak to neighbors. Such a tough scene out here, guys, not only from first responders who had to pull the 6 people from the home. We now know 3 of them dead, but neighbors telling me that one of the people who lived here, an older man, a former Marine, said that he lived with his grandchildren. So we're going to stay here on the scene, try to figure out what exactly happened. We're going to be here through the morning, so make sure to stay with us on air and online as more information becomes available. Sarah?
Max, thank you so much. A soldier is dead and 5 others are injured after a crash at Fort Bliss. This happened on Friday around 9:30 in the morning in a base training area. The names of the soldier or injured have not been released. Fort Bliss is the home to the 1st Armored Division. The cause of the accident is under investigation. Looking ahead to next week, KSAT is airing a special fentanyl episode next Wednesday at 6:30. It's called Fighting Fentanyl. It's everyone's problem. You'll see how the drug comes in through our border, what Customs and Border Protection does to stop it, and how the DEA is going after people who sell it. The goal is to help you start the conversation with your kids about the dangers of fentanyl and how you can keep them safe. This special is next Wednesday at 6:30 right here on KSAT 12. After it airs, you can watch it on our website, our YouTube channel, and KSAT Plus. And the president of Texas A&M University, Catherine Banks, has resigned. This comes after a fallout over the university hiring a journalist to revive the school's journalism department. So A&M hired Catherine McElroy, a black journalist who previously worked for the New York Times. She said that immediately she got pushback because of her past work promoting diversity in newsrooms. And last week, she said she wasn't taking the job because the university kept changing her contract. Now, that sparked a lot of criticism and negative press attention for A&M. In the meantime, Mark Welsh III, dean of the Bush School of Government and Public Service, will serve as acting president. And parents are having growing concerns about online predators, especially through social media apps. So what more can parents do beyond keeping tabs on apps, messages, and friends? Our Camelia Wattis spoke with a child psychologist about this and then how to make those difficult conversations easier and more age appropriate.
We talk about this in a daily manner, so they feel that this is a normal conversation.
Child psychiatrist Dr. Liz Marie Gonzalez Vega says talking to your child or teenager about online predators can be easier the more often you do it.
Each day you have some sort of conversation with them, and they feel it is not that they're sitting me down to have this big conversation.
The type of conversation also depends on your child's age. If they're younger, Dr. Gonzalez Vega recommends restricting their internet access as much as possible.
It's kind of important for parents to have vision and control of what's happening on the other side.
Talking to a younger child about the internet should be basic.
Not be trustworthy on everyone, and that we don't give our personal information.
Restrictions should continue as your child turns into a teen. This includes keeping their phone out of their bedroom at night and having all their social media passwords. Talking to your teenager is more about how they should behave online.
We need to have that conversation of what is appropriate or not on sending on text, on sending on phone conversations, not even with people unknown to us, but even the people that we know.
Dr. Gonzalez Vega says the more you talk with your child, the more they will trust you during difficult times.
So we talk about school, we talk about friends, we talk about boyfriends and girlfriends, right? We also talk about the difficult stuff, kind of safety, predators, or values in our home.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, it's been in San Antonio for decades, but now it's coming down, at least for now. We're talking about the statue of an American Indian outside the Superior Hyundai dealership on Loop 410. So an executive with McCombs Enterprises, which owns the dealership, says it's coming down because the company is building a new showroom. KSAT spoke to people who shared their opinions on the removal.
It's a San Antonio landmark that's just going away.
We don't have statues, we don't have buildings, streets named after any of the American Indians that built the missions of San Antonio.
So what happens with the statue? McCombs Enterprises says it's going somewhere. They just don't know where at this time. And now to some awesome news about Thursday's phone bank with our KSAT community. We are happy to report that we raised $4,700. Thank you so much to everyone who called in and donated. That money going towards equipment like wheelchairs for people who can't afford them. You have another opportunity to give. Project Mend has its annual citywide donation drive. You can drop off any type of medical equipment at the Wonderland Americas today, starting at 9 a.m. and until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And a heads up, if you're driving down St. Mary Street this weekend, crews will be laying the final layer, hopefully it's the final one, of asphalt at the intersection of Ashby Place. That intersection of North St. Mary's and East Ashby Place is closed from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. today. We know this has been a long construction project. We have more information about the closures on our website. Just head to ksat.com. Okay, it's 6:38 and 77 degrees. David Elder checks out comfort food options at Moonshine Patio in Austin. We'll give you a sneak peek still ahead. Before we head out to break, you can see the sun is starting to come up at 6:38 on this Saturday morning, 77 degrees. It is going to be another hot, humid day. The smallest chance for rain. Mike will explain when we come back. We want to get back to that late breaking news on the city's north side. Firefighters, police officers, arson investigators are still on scene of that deadly house fire happening in a neighborhood between Knoll Creek Drive and Loop 1604. Our Max Massey been live out there all morning long. Max, I know this involves 6 people that were in this house, 3 of them dead. So Max, I heard that you were talking to some of the neighbors. Any new information that you're learning out there?
Guys, it really is just such a tough morning, not only for families and friends of the victims, but also first responders, those who had to pull the 6 people out of the home. And Sarah, as you mentioned, we now know 3 of them have since passed away. We're told 2 adults, 1 child dead this morning. Some of the others still in critical condition. As I talked to neighbors, we learned a little more about the family. We know one of the men who live inside, a former Marine, told that he lives with his grandchildren. We're going to step out of the way, show you what we're seeing right now. A much calmer scene than when we first got out here. When we first got out here, 28 fire units, just to put that into perspective of how big a fire this was. Now what you're looking at is firefighters and arson investigators combing through what is left of the home. Now, we heard from Chief Hood earlier this morning, who said it appeared as though the fire started in the garage and spread. This all really first came about 3 a.m. Chief Hood telling us firefighters arrived. They had to kick in the door, trying to evacuate the home. And when they first got here, they heard yelling and screaming coming from inside, immediately going into a rescue operation, dealing with not only the flames, but the heavy smoke, the thick smoke, not able to see anything, barely hear those screams and yells. And of course, the heavy heat and humidity, trying to rescue anyone who they could. Like we've been saying, 6 people inside the home at the time of the flames, 3 adults downstairs, 3 children upstairs. Now, guys, obviously, this is an evolving situation. We are still waiting to learn the names of the family members who are inside, still waiting to learn the ages of those who are in critical condition and those who passed. But it is just a devastating morning here, not only for family, friends, first responders, but of course, neighbors who came up to us earlier this morning. Guys, back to you.
Max, thank you. And I know Fire Chief Hood also on scene, so I know Max will be talking to him throughout the morning for updates. All right, it's 6:44 and 77 degrees. Mike, you know, yesterday, what did we get to?
102.
102.
So we did drop down another degree. So, we had that 3 in a row 104s starting off the week, 103 Thursday, 102 yesterday. Although that did tie the record for yesterday. But I don't know, records really, it's just hot out there. So it's still going to be hot this weekend, 103 today. The small rain chances do exist. Small being the operative word. Don't get really excited about that. Love this picture, very cool looking. And yes, Mr. McClellan over there at Woodlawn Lake is searching for any signs of cooler days ahead. I think before he finds anything, that crystal ball may melt out there in this heat. Thank you very much for that KSAT Connect picture. All right, sun is obviously coming up as things are lightening up. May have a couple of clouds starting off this morning. So we are now up to, last year at this point, we were at 42 days of triple digits. This year we are at 27, and we're going to continue to rack them up. There was one day, I think it was about the 27th or so last year, where it was only 99. And then this year, we're going to continue to rack up triple-digit temperatures and continue the consecutive streak. I'm going to show you that graphic coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. So temperatures will stay in the upper 70s and maybe a couple of clouds hanging around here. 91 degrees today at noon. Now, it is nice to put a percentage on this graphic, albeit I've squeezing out maybe 15% chance for a stray shower or two. In other words, most everybody's not going to see anything. We'll probably count things on one hand later on today as far as the number of showers that will be popping up around here. 103, like I said, for a high temperature. So here's the computer model. This is that rapid update model. And by mid-afternoon, it's got a couple of showers popping up. There is a disturbance which is coming in here from north to south. And so as that works its way down in here, and with some of the afternoon heating, it will pop up one or two of those showers, maybe a thunderstorm around. But again, they're going to be very few and far between. They'll die down once the sun goes down. Then we jump into tomorrow, and probably a better chance to see a couple of those showers, a couple of those thunderstorms popping up around the area. And it also looks like folks down to the south may have a slightly even better chance to see some of that rain as things do develop later on in the afternoon, and that disturbance continues to work its way there down to the south. So again, the overall thing to take away from this is it's not a really great chance of rain this weekend. The other thing that we could benefit from tomorrow is the fact if there are a few extra clouds may help keep temperatures a little bit lower. This high is kind of shifting off to the west a little bit, so that's what's allowing things to come in around it. But then we go into the rest, or the first part of next week, I should say, and it sort of moves back in here, even strengthens a little bit. So that's going to bump temperatures up another degree or so. It's going to be back to 103s first half of next week. One little hope way down the road is with this high sort of edging its way off to the west a little bit, and we will get into more of a kind of a flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico. And it also looks like there wants to be a bit of a wave that tried to develop out here in the Gulf. And if that were to develop, and again, this is just kind of wishful thinking as of right now, that could come on in here and give us a chance for a little bit of rain. But again, that's just kind of speculation as of right now, way down the road, because there's nothing really concrete developing way down the road. Today, call it a 15% chance for rain, 20 tomorrow. That's slightly better chance tomorrow. But again, most of us, unfortunately, are going to be kind of high and dry, or hot and dry, I should say. And it just stays very hot going into next week as well.
All right.
All those plants, all those lawns.
Oh, I know. My lawn, after the 3 104 days, my rose bushes have turned yellow, no matter how much hand watering I'm doing. Mm-hmm. It's all suffering. All right, thank you so much, Mike. It is 6:49 and 77 degrees. David Elder checks out the comfort food options at Moonshine Patio in Austin. We'll give you a sneak peek after the break. But we also want to take a look outside on the roads now that the sun is up. That's 90 at General McMullen. Lots of people on the roads this morning. If you have errands to do, possibly do them early because it's just going to continue to heat up throughout the day. And of course, we'll be checking in with Max Massey on the scene of that deadly fire one more time before our show ends at 7 a.m. But first, here's a look at these lotto numbers on your screen. Pick 3, 04, 2, Fireball 9, Daily 4, 0865, Fireball 8, Cash 5, 8, 9, 16, 19, 28. And of course, the Mega Millions over 720 million jackpot, 29, 40, 47, 50, 57, Mega Ball 25, Mega Player 2.
This is a big old piece of pork, man. What's going on in this dish?
Chef sous vide this, right? And a little bit of bourbon and whiskey and various other things. And then we'll go ahead and char grill that, top it off with a peach chutney, and then a little bit of greens on top.
The sous vide is going to guarantee you a perfect cook every time. Look at that. I got you a little piece right there.
Oh, thank you.
Here's the bite. I'm out. Ooh.
Right now, we want to get back to our late-breaking news on the north side of town. Crews are on scene of a major house fire that is deadly, happening on Winding Oak Drive near Loop 1604 and Bulverde Road. Our Max Massey's been out there live all morning. Max, we understand 6 people were in the home and 3 have died in this fire.
That's right, and being out here really is just a somber atmosphere. You hear it from the first responders who pulled the 6 people out. And Sarah, like you said, we now know 3 of them dead, 2 adults, 1 child. But even hearing from neighbors who approached us early this morning in tears, saying they knew the people who lived in the home. We are still waiting to learn the names and ages of those who lived in this home behind me. But as the sun does come out this morning, we are starting to get a better look at the damage. Now, what you're looking at right now, these are the remaining firefighters and arson investigators combing through the rubble inside the garage. We heard from Chief Hood earlier this morning saying that they believe that the fire started it here in the garage. It started around 3 this morning. First responders, when they first got here, they encountered heavy smoke, high heat. Trying to rescue residents, they heard yelling and screaming from inside, kicking the door down. A total of 6 people pulled from the home. 3 adults were downstairs, 3 children upstairs. And like we've been saying through the morning, we now know 3 of the 6 who were pulled did not make it. 2 adults and 1 of the children did pass away.
Went immediately to provide a rescue. PD had kicked the door in prior to our arrival. When they kicked the door, and they also heard screams. It looks like the fire originated in the garage area. At this time, we are not finding any working smoke detectors, and there were no reports of detectors going off.
When we first got out here, 28 fire engines on the scene covering the neighborhood and the entrance to the neighborhood. But since then, the 28 engines have started to go away. When we first got here around 6 a.m., we did tell you that a lot of the roads in the area were blocked off. Those have since been reopened. But as you can see from behind me, arson investigators, firefighters still on the scene, again, investigating, trying to figure out what exactly happened, what sparked this flames. We're going to be staying on this throughout the morning, so make sure to stay with us on air and online as more information becomes available. Sarah?
Max, thank you.
All right, it is warm and humid out there right now as the sun is coming up. 80 degrees is the heat index, 82 up the road at Canyon Lake. So we've got our morning humidity. Heat advisories later on today. We will see the lower humidity in the afternoon, but we still have those temperatures up in the low hundreds, prompting those heat advisories. And as far as temperatures, 91 at noon. Now, we were at 92, or excuse me, I wish, 102 yesterday. Had gone down a degree each day, but we're back to 103 today. A shower or storm is going to be popping up later on this afternoon. Not a great chance at rain, unfortunately. We have a slightly better chance to see a couple of showers, stray thunderstorm tomorrow. We're still going to be in the low hundreds. Pretty much after that, that's it. We stay in the about 103 range first half of the week. Perhaps temperatures easing by the end of next week. Stray shower trying to pop up, but as of right now, that's just a kind of wishful thinking for the time being. But yeah, just take it easy if you're outside. Even though we do have the lower humidity in the afternoon, still going to be tough to do.
Thank you so much, Mike. Of course, we'll bring you the latest on that breaking news of that deadly house fire on the north side starting at 8 a.m.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Sarah Costa. We'll get to weather in just a few minutes, but first an update on that late breaking news of that deadly house fire on the north side of town. San Antonio Fire Chief Hood tells us the first call came in around 3 this morning on Winding Oak Drive. That's a neighborhood between Loop 1604 and Knoll Creek. Our Max Massey joins us from the scene. Now, Max, the sun is up. How are things looking out there? We understand 6 people were in this home. 3 have died from this fire.
That's right, Sarah. It is a much different scene now than when we first got here early this morning. 28 fire engines here on the scene. Right now, we're really just left to the arson investigators who are on the scene. And Sarah, as you said, the sun is up. We are starting to see the damage and devastation. Speaking of which, you look in that garage, you can see what's left of a car, and you can see what's left of everything else. We've seen investigators, firefighters, police officers pulling things, supplies, rubble out of the garage. Even a few moments ago, we saw them going through the home with a canine unit, all part of the investigation, looking to see if there were any accelerants used. Arson investigators are telling me this is an investigation. They're far from done, but they say right now no reason to believe that the fire was set intentionally. But this is what we know about it right now. Firefighters, first responders getting to the scene around 3 this morning. Chief Hood saying they got calls for a structure fire. During the call, they could hear people screaming. They arrived to the scene. The first people on the scene had to kick down the door on an attempt to evacuate the home. They could hear yells, hear screams coming from upstairs. Firefighters immediately going into rescue operation. They encountered heavy smoke, high heat, and of course, those yells trying to rescue the people inside. And at the time of first responding, 6 people inside the home. All 6 pulled from the home. 3 adults were downstairs, 3 children upstairs. Now we know 3 of those people did not make it. We are told from a sergeant on the scene, 2 adults, 1 of the child, they have passed away. And we heard from Chief Hood earlier this morning. He said it looked like the fire originated in that garage area. At the time, they weren't finding any working smoke detectors, no reports of any detectors going off. And they're going to be out here through the morning canvassing the neighborhood, making sure neighbors have smoke detectors. The chief adding, this is a devastating situation, not only for friends and families of the victims, of course the neighbors, but also for first responders who had to pull 6 people out of the fire, the thick smoke, and those deadly flames. And guys, as we're pulling out live this morning, you can see what's left of the home inside that garage. I've been talking to neighbors throughout the morning, them telling me what they know about the family, their history, how long they've been there. We're going to be here live this morning, coming up at 8:30. I'm going to tell you what those neighbors have been saying. Sarah, back to you.
Max, thank you for staying on top of this. We'll bring you those live updates throughout the morning. It is 8:03, 78 degrees, already a muggy one.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to get over 103? What do you think? Yesterday was 103?
Well, yesterday was 102.
Okay.
So it was 104 starting off last week. Thursday, 103, 102, although that did tie that record for yesterday's date. It's actually going to be a little bit hotter, it looks like, today. Ooh. But we do have that small chance of rain.
Okay.
Again, the operative thing is don't get too excited about the rain chances out there. And as you can see, we got plenty of sunshine as of right now. Didn't have as much in the way of some morning clouds as we've had in the past couple of mornings. 80 here in town, 79 Canyon Lake, 81 Stinson, as well as New Braunfels. And the humidity, yes, it's up there. It's kind of that cycle that we go through each and every day. More humidity in the morning, and at least, as you know, we've been emphasizing, it does drop down in the afternoon. Unlike, remember, a couple of weeks ago when we had those heat index readings 115 and above that. Nothing like that in the forecast. Although right now it feels like 84 in town, 86 down the road there at Stinson, 85 is the heat index at New Braunfels. Mold, pigweed are both on the low side. We do have heat advisories in effect for this afternoon, despite the fact that we won't have that really high humidity. It's just because, yes, we are going to be up to here in town up to 103, 91 at noon. And it is nice to put the chance for a shower or storm on the forecast right there. But again, don't get really excited about that. Just probably count them on one hand. Although, as tomorrow, there's a slightly better chance, not great, but slightly better chance for a couple of showers or a thunderstorm. We'll talk about that and talk about what to expect next week. Last week of July already. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah?
Thank you, Mike. Happening today, the punishment phase is expected to begin in the case of Jesse Farias. The local Tejano star is accused of indecency of a child. He was arrested and charged in 2021. The jury deliberated for several hours yesterday before reaching a verdict. Farias was found not guilty on 2 counts of sexual assault of a child. His sentencing is expected sometime today, and he's facing a punishment of up to 20 years in prison. Stay with us on air and online. You can read more about this story right now. Just head to KSAT.com. The Justice Department is planning to take legal action against Texas. It sent a letter to Governor Greg Abbott. This is all over those floating barriers you can see on your screen right now in the Rio Grande River that Abbott recently had installed to stop migrants from crossing the border. In the letter, the DOJ says, in part, the barriers, quote, violate federal law, raise humanitarian concerns, and present serious risk to public safety and the environment, end quote. The governor has not responded to the letter at this time. A San Antonio teenage runaway who was kidnapped and taken 1,300 miles away from her home is now back with her family. Investigators say the man took her, drove her to California, and it was there that she finally got help. Patty Santos has the details of this amazing story.
Help me. Those are the 2 words the 13-year-old victim scribbled on a piece of paper, and when Good Samaritans saw it, they took action.
She come tell me, yeah, I think the girl need help. Yeah, and then she called the cop.
The runaway teen from San Antonio was found in Long Beach, California on July 9th. According to federal court records, on July 6th, 61-year-old Stephen Robert Sabalon found the teen walking near a San Antonio bus stop. He pulled out a gun and told her to get in the car. Investigators say over the next 2 days, Sabalon took the teen on a road trip to California and repeatedly sexually assaulted her. The 2 stopped at this laundromat where workers immediately noticed something was wrong.
I see like she's scared. I think he been here, put the dry clothes with her, and then he take her back in the car.
When police looked through that car, they say they found a BB gun, a knife, and handcuffs. Fort Worth police have been looking for Sabalon. They say he's connected to a burglary and considered him armed and dangerous. Criminal court records dating back to 1979 show he was convicted on 2 separate cases of robbery with a deadly weapon. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Now, court records say the runaway teen was promised a cruise trip by Sabalon. Sabalon is now facing 2 federal charges of kidnapping and transporting of a minor. He's in the Los Angeles jail. The victim has been reunited with her family. It is 8:07 and 79 degrees. After the break, new details about the extreme temperatures slamming a big part of the country. We'll take a look at the destruction and the trouble it's causing for marine life. Everyone's really experiencing the heat. 79 degrees, already up a degree from when we started the show 8 minutes ago. It's hot, it's humid. It's going to be another triple-digit day, but we have the slightest bit of chance of rain. Mike will explain when we come back. Dangerous heat taking hold across the country, and it's not just how high the temperatures are going, but how long this extreme heat is sticking around for. ABC's Lionel Moes explains how the heat is also fueling storms.
Millions of Americans from coast to coast under heat alerts, temperatures hitting triple digits across much of the West and the South as these dangerously hot conditions remain. In Harlingen, Texas, near the Gulf Coast, a rush to break a windshield in a frantic effort to free a baby locked inside a car. Children's body temperatures can rise 5 times faster than adults. EMS evaluated the baby and they are okay. Phoenix, Arizona hitting 119 degrees on Thursday. It has been more than 110 degrees there for 3 weeks straight, breaking a record.
Seems like it just gets hotter and hotter every year.
The heat not just tough on humans, the Phoenix Zoo focusing on keeping the animals cool. Experts recommend staying in air condition and out of the sun in this weather, but that's not an option for some people who have to work outdoors, like these construction workers in Miami. The heat not only felt in the air, but also the water. Water temperatures in parts of the Gulf and western Atlantic are climbing into the 90s off the Florida coast. That's 4 to 7 degrees higher than average.
It's warm. It's over 90 degrees. this water's warm. It gives us reason for pause for what may come for the rest of the summer.
Researchers at Florida International University warn those high temperatures could harm marine life and provide fuel for hurricanes.
There's certainly concern that with warmer temperatures, you may see stronger storms or more frequent storms.
And amid the heat, the threat of severe storms. Torrential rain falling in Atlanta Friday night, pouring down, causing flash flooding in some areas. And further north in Boston, the game between the Red Sox and the Mets postponed due to storms. Heavy rain turning staircases at historic Fenway Park into waterfalls. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Just the thought of having that much rain here right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at something like Canyon Lake or Medina, all the lakes around here, you know, it would take one of those storms, almost like a tropical system,
right,
to sit on top of us for a long time. But then, you know, that would cause problems as well. But we do have that small chance for a couple of showers today.
I'll take it.
Again, the thing is, don't get your hopes too high for it because it's going to be very, very few and far between. Love this picture, though, and yeah, as well as the caption, my favorite time of day. Yes, indeed. It is beautiful, especially if you're inside looking out on a day like this. But thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, gorgeous out there at the airport right now, and we've got a lot of clear skies. We'll see a couple of clouds trying to pop up later on today. Now, as far as the number of consecutive days that we have hit triple digits, we are now tied with last year at 2 weeks in a row. This is as of yesterday. Today we are going to be hitting triple digits, so we will move into a tie for second place. And just looking at the forecast all through next week, that's going to be in jeopardy as well. And again, this is the consecutive days. We're still 15 days behind the total number of triple digits that we had up to this point last year. We've had 25 so far. But like I said, we are going to continue to rack up the consecutive days. Tomorrow, that could be cloud dependent, just as far as, you know, if one of those batches of clouds decides to park over the airport right there. But it's not looking like it. Temperatures will continue to warm up through the mid and upper 80s the rest of the morning, 91 at noon. And then we will start to see, I've only got about a 10-15% chance for a stray shower in here later on today. 103 high temperature. We are going to be back up a little bit warmer than yesterday, and maybe a little lingering shower going into the evening hours. So here's the computer model. Again, this is that rapid update model. Updates itself every hour, couple of hours, and it still has that chance for a couple of those showers to pop up later on this afternoon, heading in toward dinner time. But again, kind of step back and you can just about count all those on one hand, and that will pretty much be about it, which is why I've been saying, and we've all been saying leading up to this, that don't get your hopes too high. Now, tomorrow, there is a little bit better chance for a few of those showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms to pop up later on in the afternoon going into the evening hours. And again, should we get some clouds just to hang over the airport, maybe that would keep a little more of a lid on temperatures tomorrow afternoon. But it's also looking as though, as we go into the dinner time, late afternoon hours tomorrow, that more of those showers and storms may try and develop a little bit further on down to the south of us. And that's the once we get past that, that's pretty much it. So the story right before weather, talking about all the heat out there to the west, it's all basically the same system that's causing it. It's this high which is parked over there. It is just off to the west of us, and that's why we've got this northwesterly flow in the atmosphere, and that's what's taking little disturbances up there to the north of us and bringing them down in our direction. If this thing was plunked down right on top of us, that would be just that dome that wouldn't allow anything to develop. So that's the situation today. That'll be the situation tomorrow as well. But then as we go on into Monday and the first half of the week, this kind of strengthens a little bit and sort of creates more of a dome on top of us. So that then puts the lid on anything as far as any rain chances going into next week. Also, as it moves on in here, it kind of pushes down a little harder. So that compresses the air, heats things up. So we will go up a couple of more notches going into the mid to maybe latter part of next week. But then just looking at this graphic, a little bit of hope later on, as far as there's the high, again, clockwise flow, but you can get some of these little waves trying to develop coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico. So that would be the wishful thinking toward next weekend as far as a chance for a shower or two trying to develop. But again, it's not like there's any sort of system or anything like that. It's just, kind of hope at this point. Hope for a couple of showers today, a little bit better hope tomorrow, and we stay at triple digits. And as it's looking right now, we will continue with that string of consecutive triple digit days. I don't know if that's a good record to have or not.
It's not.
At least,
There's no
at least the humidity, does drop down in the afternoon, so we don't have those outrageously high heat index values. Yeah. But still, if you're outside, even in a pool, lots and lots of water. Can't emphasize that enough.
Sunscreen, big hat. Stay safe, stay cool.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, it is 8:18, and we will be right back. Welcome back. Comal ISD is stepping up security for the upcoming school year. The district plans to add a school resource officer on every campus, including its 20 elementary schools. But not every school will have one until later this year.
It's going to all really depend on how quickly the sheriff's office is able to get those deputies hired, trained, and in place. It could be within a few weeks or a few months.
Several law enforcement agencies will train the officers, but Comal ISD will cover their salaries. And Governor Greg Abbott signed legislation in June that will require armed security guards at all schools. The Comal ISD School Board approved its own plans in April before that bill was passed. It's 8:22 and 80 degrees. Things are about to get tasty here on GMSA. After the break, a look at what David Elder is cooking up on Texas Eats.
Out of 24 summers, what would you say is your favorite bites? What are Larry's favorite bites?
A couple of my favorite bites, of course, is the standard chicken fried steak. You can't come to the gristmill without a chicken fried steak. Then we've added a couple new items. We've got our bone-in chicken, amazing, tender, juicy, with our fall-off-the-bone tender ribs.
Now, I want to talk about the building real quick, though. Sure. It's located right on the river in Green. If you haven't been here, you would consider it out here, and you can look at the river while you're enjoying your meal.
Part of the ambiance of the restaurant is the ceiling with 4 windows. We're inside, we're like a tree house, but we're outside. We can definitely look over the rail, see tubers floating by. Good old time sitting outside, feel the breeze, have a margarita, have a cold drink, and have a good bite. You're good to go.
Good morning, I'm Max Massey. A sergeant here on the scene of a deadly fire on the north side tells me 6 people pulled from this home behind me. Of those 6, we're being told 3 have since passed away. We're going to be here live through the morning with the latest.
Well, good morning, everyone. If you're just waking up on this Saturday morning, it is a beautiful day. We've got lots of clear skies out there as of right now. And yes, of course, we do have our morning humidity in place, 80 degrees. Dew point stands at 72. So when you step outside, you'll definitely notice it if you're going for, say, an early morning walk. It is the heat index reading. So what it actually feels like when you step outside, 85 there at New Braunfels, 84 at the airport, 83 at Port SA. Stinson is 86 degrees. And we do have mold and pigweed both on the low side. There's also a heat advisory in effect throughout the rest of today going into this evening. Now, this despite the fact, yes, the humidity will be dropping down in the afternoon like it has been for the past couple of days, but we're still going to have those temperatures well up into the low hundreds. So warm and humid this morning, and then later on today, yep, you're reading that right. There will be a stray shower or a storm or two, but as we've all been saying the past couple of days, don't get your hopes too high. You're probably going to be counting these on one hand. Now, tomorrow there's a slightly better rain chance around here later on in the afternoon. Again, a stray shower, maybe a thunderstorm or two. But again, the majority of us won't be seeing anything. Then we get into the first to middle part of next week. And things are going to be just back to what we've been suffering through. A lot of sunshine, a lot of heat, and unfortunately, no rain. All those details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah?
Mike, thank you. Police on scene of a devastating house fire on the north side this morning, confirming 3 of the 6 people that were pulled from that fire in that home have passed away. Now, this is a story we've been following closely as it unfolded on Winding Oak. This is the neighborhood between Loop 1604 and Knoll Creek. Our Max Massey joins us live from the scene. Now, Max, you've been out there all morning covering this. You've had time now to speak to some of the first responders and some of the neighbors. So what have you learned?
Sarah, the first neighbors came to us around 6:30 this morning, one of them with tears in his eyes, really just a devastating situation. We're told one of the people who lived in this home behind me, the deadly fire, we're told one of the people in there, a grandfather, a former Marine who's taking care of his grandchildren. He lives in this home. And Sarah, as you said, we know 6 people were inside at the time of the flames. Since then, the sergeant on the scene telling me 3 of them have passed away. Still, we are waiting to learn the names and ages of all the victims. This is what it looks like now, but let's take a look at the scene from a few hours ago. First responders getting out here around 3 a.m. Chief Hood telling us that they got calls for the structure fire. During the call, they could hear people screaming on the phone. And when they arrived, they had to kick in the door, trying to evacuate the home. They heard screaming from upstairs, immediately going into rescue operations. Crews dealing with heavy smoke, the high heat that we've seen the last few weeks, trying to rescue anyone they could. And they were able to pull 6 people from inside the home. They tell me 3 adults were downstairs, 3 children upstairs. We now know 3 of the 6 people did not make it. We're told from police on the scene, 2 adults, 1 of the children did pass away. Again, we don't know the names or ages of the victims just yet. We do hope to learn that through the morning. Chief Hood was out here earlier this morning. He said that members of HIMSS department who are out here, they're going to make sure they get critical stress debriefing, saying it's very challenging to see some of the images and experience what these first responders had to experience when they had to bring out a family of 6. Now, arson investigators are here. They're investigating the cause. But the chief said that it looked like the fire originated in the garage because they're not finding any other fire or any other real damage throughout the home. And speaking of that garage, guys, you saw just behind me, it really is kind of a microcosm of all the damage. What is left of a car behind me, we're seeing investigators go through the rubble, picking out supplies. They pulled out what looked to be a barbecue earlier. And just a few moments ago, they had a canine unit go through the garage looking for what they tell me could be accelerants. Now, arson investigators still on the scene. They tell me the investigation far from done, but right now, there is no reason to believe that this fire was set intentionally. And we're going to be here on the scene throughout the morning, and we're going to keep you updated as more information becomes available. Sarah, back to you.
Max, thank you. Important news, if you have to drive downtown today, crews will be laying the final layer of asphalt on St. Mary's at the intersection of Ashby Place. The intersection of North St. Mary's and East Ashby Place is closed until 6 p.m. today. We know this construction project on St. Mary's has been going on for a long time, so hopefully this is the final layer. We have more information about closures right now. Just head to KSAT.com. Now to an active silver alert. The alert is still in effect for this woman on your screen right now. Just take a look. This is 75-year-old Olga Martinez. She's about 5'2", has brown hair and brown eyes, and she does have a medical condition. So if you know where she is, call the San Antonio police. That number on your screen right now, 210-207-7660. And a statue that has been in San Antonio for decades is coming down, at least for now. So we're talking about the statue of an American Indian outside the Superior Hyundai dealership on Loop 410. An executive with McCombs Enterprises, which owns that dealership, says it's coming down because the company is building a new showroom. So KSAT spoke to the people who shared their opinions on the removal.
It's a San Antonio landmark that's just going away.
We don't have statues, we don't have buildings, streets named after any of the American Indians that built the missions of San Antonio.
So what happens with the statue now? McCombs Enterprises says it's going somewhere, they just don't know where yet. Looking ahead, KSAT is airing a special on fentanyl next Wednesday at 6:30. It's called Fighting Fentanyl. It's everyone's problem. You'll see how the drug comes in through our border, what Customs and Border Protection does to stop it, and how the DEA is going after people who sell it. The goal is to help you start the conversation with your kids about the dangers of fentanyl and how you can keep them safe. Again, the special is next Wednesday at 6:30 right here on KSAT 12. After it airs, of course, you can watch it in full on our website, on our YouTube channel, and on KSAT Plus. It's 8:36 and 81 degrees. Oh boy, keeping that pavement cool, it's tough, especially with these triple digits temps that we're having several days in a row. After the break, what the city is doing to help combat this brutal heat. You saw that man walking his dog. Probably a good idea if you need to do so. Do it now, do it early before we get into those triple digits because, of course, their little paws on the asphalt pavement gets really hot for them. 81 degrees. Mike will have a forecast when we come back.
Good morning, I'm Max Massey. We are here on the scene of a deadly fire on the north side. And as the sun comes out, we are starting to get a better idea of what exactly happened here. Investigators, police, firefighters still on the scene, piecing it all together. We're going to have the latest throughout the morning.
San Antonio is still heating up, but the city is working to make sure some streets can cool down. This is the first week that all 12 streets of the city's Cool Pavement pilot program have this new treatment laid out. Our Avery Everett takes a look at what the city is saying about this new treatment.
About 15 a day.
Casey Holton goes on a lot of walks.
I've been doing this for about 15 years.
And he's always with a dog or two.
Right.
Holton runs a dog walking business, and these are two of his clients.
Just nothing but love, and obviously they trust me.
But with San Antonio heating up this summer, Holton has to cut his business hours short.
In between 11 and 8 to 8:30 at night is literally a siesta for me as far as dog walks.
Saying asphalt and sidewalks are just too hot to keep his dogs safe. And that's something the city is hoping to change soon with new cool pavement.
If it can cool down the neighborhood by a couple of degrees, it's really helpful.
The city just finished the first phase of its pilot program, paving 12 streets across San Antonio.
Cool pavement is one arrow in the quiver of heat mitigation tools.
The treatment uses materials that reflect solar radiation. And the city says this is a step towards sustainability and heat management across San Antonio.
We'll look at cool pavement in these most vulnerable census tracts or neighborhoods, and we'll add cool pavement, trees, and cool roofs to see how much we can cool down the neighborhoods.
Right now, UTSA is collecting data that the city will use in December to decide the next steps. But in the meantime, Holton's dog walking business will have to go with fewer walks.
If there's any hot weather, cut it shorter, whatnot.
Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Those poor doggies behind him. My two big dogs at home, I mean, we walk them like between 8 and not even 10:30. I feel like even 11 sometimes is too hot for them, for their paws, or we wait until the sun is completely down. But even then, it's still like that heat stays around and it builds up.
Because it's a dense material like that, concrete, asphalt, something, so it's going to absorb all that heat as well. And even early in the mornings, I mean, it's still on the warm side, and it's not going to take that much then to get it up to the point where it's going to be too hot. So maybe if you can walk on the sidewalk and let them walk on the grass or something.
Or find those shaded areas. super important.
But as time rolls on, it's a little tougher to even find green grass to walk on with all the
just dirt.
The heat and dry that we have right now. I love this picture though. This is absolutely beautiful. Busy as a bee out there at the Botanical Gardens. So many trees out there, and that's always a nice little cool spot to kind of walk around there at the Botanical Gardens. But what a beautiful shade of lavender in that plant.
Thistle.
Oh, is that the okay?
It's a type of thistle. It's a native flower. It's beautiful.
Usually when you're not around, Sarah, during the week, we have to go, what is that? And people are kind enough to write in. But so that's a thistle. Okay. Like in the poem, like for like the down of a thistle?
Sure.
That is?
I know flowers. That's all I really know.
Okay. Well, I don't know if that's what they were referring to. Lots of blue skies out there as of right now. All right. This is the time of year we always get the Saharan dust to come across the Atlantic Ocean. And there may be hints of it here and there. But there's a pretty good batch which is working its way through the Caribbean, working its way through the Gulf of Mexico. And it looks like we will start to see some of that as we go into the first portion of next week, just a little bit. And that's going to obviously help to enhance the sunrises and sunsets with those particles in the atmosphere. And then it looks like it will continue to stick around even going into late next week, and then hopefully start to kind of get on out of here a little bit by the latter part of next week and going into next weekend. We are going to be warming up through the 80s throughout the rest of the morning. Lots of sunshine out there if there is a leftover cloud from this morning, but otherwise just it's going to be blazing sunshine, heating things up very quickly, and we'll make it up to triple digits already by mid-afternoon. That's when we're going to start to see one or two of those showers out there. And again, one or two, the operative words. Most of us aren't unfortunately going to be seeing anything as far as rain today. We will hit a high temperature up to 103 degrees, so up a degree from yesterday, although yesterday did set or tie a record, I should say, for the high temperature. Notice on the water vapor imagery, and this looks at the moisture aloft in the atmosphere, got some very, very dry air, this darker shade of gray, and then a little bit more moisture up there to the north, and that's why there may be kind of that sort of milky shade to the sky a little bit. But one thing to really take away from this is the fact that this is coming in from north to south. And so what's happening is the high, which is keeping us so very hot off to the west of us, that around that clockwise flow is pulling down these little disturbances. And as the afternoon heats up, we'll start to see, again, 1 or 2 of those stray showers out there. But that's probably going to be about it. You can count them, been saying all morning long, count them on one hand, the number that's going to be popping up. Then once the sun starts to go down, those will be dying down. Although then once we get into tomorrow, we do have a slightly better chance to see, albeit still small chance, but a slightly better chance to see a couple of those showers or maybe even a thunderstorm later on in the afternoon. It would also be nice if we get some extra cloud cover hanging around here to maybe trim a few more degrees off those temperatures. So that is definitely going to be kind of a wait and see situation, and some maybe the bit more down to the south and to the southeast. You might be a little bit better off as far as, or a little luckier as far as your chances of seeing some rain tomorrow. 103 today, 102 tomorrow. Right now, taking into account just a couple of extra clouds around here, and that's slightly better chance for a shower or two. And boy, after tomorrow, then it's going to be, hovering around 103. Air conditioners always have trouble keeping up. And then by the end of the week, maybe that high starts to kind of ease ever so slightly. So, you lose a degree or two, and perhaps something tries to develop by late next week or next weekend. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We keep our AC at like between 77, 78 when we can during the day. I know you have an older home with a lot of windows. Are you able to?
It's tough. Really tough to do. And I've heard from some air conditioning experts too that you have to try and give it a little bit of a rest every once in a while, that they're not designed to, just run constantly. So
yeah, even at 78, they're still running constantly with this triple digit heat. So
yep.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
I'm not looking forward to my latest CPS.
Oh, I just paid mine. It was pretty brutal. All right, 8:47 and 81 degrees. Here's a look at what's coming up after the break.
A free show in San Antonio that's finally going to get your kids to put down their phones. That's coming up.
Hey everyone, Science with Sarah is partnering with the San Antonio Zoo. It is always a great day to visit the zoo. And here with me I have Kyle Perez. He's the Director of Public Relations here at the zoo. And Heather, you have Miss Greta, right?
Yes.
Tell us a fact about Miss Greta.
So she is a 3-banded armadillo, and they are going to be the only species that can roll up into a full ball.
She's so cute. She looks like a roly-poly. Okay, and Kyle, tell us a little bit about Miss Greta. She's an animal ambassador.
Yes, exactly. So Miss Greta is an animal ambassador, which means she comes out and does shows here at San Antonio Zoo, where presentations, you can catch her every hour. We are doing something different here at San Antonio Zoo. So you're not just coming to the zoo and wandering around, but instead you can meet the keepers. You can meet an animal like Greta, meet and greet them. So it's really an experience you can't get anywhere else other than here in San Antonio.
That makes a lot of sense. And you don't need a meteorologist to tell you it's hot outside, but the zoo has plenty of ways to keep cool. What's something new you're doing this summer?
Sure. So when you come to the zoo, you don't just stand out on the heat. We have misting stations, we have cooling zones, we have so many opportunities and oasis around the zoo as you wander. But we even have a new show and programming called the Splash and Safari Water Party, where the Great Lawn turns into an entire splash zone where you're gonna get wet if you're around there. So just be careful, but also it's a great time to just cool off and relax.
And fun for the adults too, right? I hear something about adult beverages.
Yes, so we are introducing the Continental Cocktail Tour. And that's gonna happen here at the zoo, where you can visit Africa, you can visit Australia, we're in Asia right now. But really we're gonna have different cocktails and mocktails for the kids in every single spot. So take the challenge, do our Continental Cocktail Tour.
Well, that sounds wonderful. For more on Science with Sarah and the San Antonio Zoo, you can go to KSAT.com.
There's a child inside of all of us, and a new play at the Classic Theater of San Antonio really brings that to life. So come with me and let's get a sneak peek at Peter and the Starcatcher.
Boy starts out as, a not like the normal Peter Pan that we all know of. He's a little grumpy, he's a little upset, he's an orphan. And then, we see him change and grow throughout the entire show to become that character that we all know and love.
This show is magical, it's performative, it's whimsical. It reminds all of us what it is like to be a child and to play in your backyard with your friends and to create these magical stories and these adventures for yourself. It's a really unique piece of theater in that there are not a lot of lights and, technical things, but what happens is that we use everyday objects to really tell the story in exciting and magical ways. Tickets are absolutely free. This is a free gift to the city of San Antonio from the Classic Theater, so please come and take advantage of it.
Watching a movie is so much fun, but there's something different about going into a theater space and getting to connect in real time with real people who are right in front of you. It is unlike any feeling that you can ever imagine.
The best part about this play is just how close you're going to feel to these actors, almost like you're part of the play. For showtimes, visit our website, KSAT.com. Stefania Jimenez, KSAT 12 News.
A devastating morning for neighbors, family, and friends here on the north side. This fire behind me, what's left of it anyway, we're told it is deadly. We know 3 people dead, 2 adults, 1 child. We're going to have the latest in just a few moments. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. We've been staying on top of this deadly house fire on the north side on Rolling Oak. I'm going to step out of the way, show you what we are now seeing this morning. Now, this is what's left. It is a much more calm and quiet situation than when we first came this morning. Now, you can see arson investigators still going through the garage, or at least what's left of the garage. We're seeing what looks like a melted Jeep inside the garage. Investigators pulling wiring. You can see the exercise equipment or what's left of it. Just a few moments ago, they had a canine unit going through, seeing if there was any accelerant detected. Now, I'm told there is no reason to believe that the fire was set intentionally. Now, taking a look at the scene from a few hours ago, investigators tell me firefighters got the call around 3 a.m. They had heavy smoke, flames, and high heat. They had to kick down the door. They heard yelling and screaming. There were 6 people inside. Now, firefighters pulled all 6 out. We're told 1 of the people died on the scene. The other 5 transported to local hospitals. Police have confirmed 3 total people from the fire have passed away. 2 adults, 1 child. We are still waiting to learn the names and ages of the victims. Now, we've been talking to neighbors through the morning. We're told a grandfather, a former Marine, he lives here, takes care of his grandchildren. But again, we are still waiting to learn the names and ages of all the people who live here. And of course, the names and ages of the deceased. We're going to be here live through the morning. But right now, we're going to head to break.